alabdhe va vinashte va bhaksha chadana sadhane aviklava matir bhutva harim eva diya smaret. If persons engaged in devotional service of Lord Hari are unable to obtain food and shelter despite their attempts, or if their acquisitions are lost or destroyed, they should, without anxiety, absorb their hearts deeply in the thought of Lord Hari. So this Vyasadeva is describing the situation of full distress that comes about in the material world. And actually, here it's indicated that this is grace. It's just the opposite of what we conceive of ordinarily or materially. That, if I feel bad, that's not good. If I feel good, that's good. But actually in devotional life, it's generally just the opposite. That the mercy comes in the form of apparent pain and difficulty. But when seen in the right perspective, it's actually a very kind grace. And to see it like that in a deep way is, the beginning stages of development of real devotion. That, to know that Krishna, of course, always through the grace of our gurus, is our friend, and whatever happens to us is ultimately a good thing, and it's there to clear the way for our progress in development of our inner life. This is so beautiful. I'll do one more. It's hard to stop. Okay. Sarvatra tad anukampa darshanad eva tat siddhi. This is accomplished only when one can see the grace of the Supreme Lord in every situation. Whoa. Now, he quotes the Bhagavatam, which comes from Sri Brahmana. Tat te anukampam susamikshmano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbir vidham namaste jiveta yo muktapade sadaya bhak. Oh, I see. This is, from Lord Brahma. And it is in the Bhagavatam. I think 11th canto. One who, in the hope of achieving your grace, goes on enduring the inauspicious fruits of his own karma and passes his days practicing devotion unto you in every thought, word, and deed, such a person is heir to the land of freedom. He attains to the plane of positive immortality. Jiveta yo muktipade. Muktipade, liberation, freedom, but pade, at the lotus feet of the Lord. So, translation, plane of positive immortality, that place where everything that happens is positive. And so that can even be present in this material world. Believe it or not, it's actually the reality that, like we were saying, because Krishna is God, and He's everywhere, and He's kind, everything is kind, and everything is happy. But of course, it's very difficult to perceive that because we're conditioned, and we think that what happens to our body, and beyond our body, to our mind, and intelligence, and deeper still to our conception of self, our ego. If something bad happens, then it's bad. But actually, it's like I said, it's just the opposite. So we have to gradually remind ourselves and take shelter of our gurus, that we can develop that understanding when we're confronted with difficult situations. And, you know, pray not only to Krishna, but always understanding that we can only approach Krishna through the grace of our gurus. There's really no stage at which we actually directly approach Krishna. We know that from, you know, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's clear indications, and also, you know, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Govinda Maharaj all told us that we come to a stage where we serve the servants of the servants of the servants, and who knows how far down. But that's our position, that we're always servants. So it's good to perceive that we're seeing Krishna as our friend because our guru is our friend. I think that's an important point. Okay, so I'll remark this and leave it there. Jai Shri Shri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Shri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Okay. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so I think we read localized Paramatma. Okay, right. We read about how all right, that was about the sun earlier. Okay, I'll start with this one. So this is verse 27, chapter 2, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami establishes first the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, beyond Brahman and beyond Paramatma, and then he goes on to establish that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than that same Supreme Personality of Godhead. And particularly, I think, in this chapter, he establishes that Mahaprabhu is directly connected in a direct descent from Krishna, not descending through the agency of Vishnu, and which is important for this age. This is a very unusual age, that Krishna himself, at the beginning of the age or at the end of the last age, descended directly, and also Mahaprabhu descends directly in this age. So it's particularly potent. You know, that's what we're told, that we're somehow or other we're very fortunate. And, you know, how that works, we have no idea, but we're fortunate because our gurus tell us we're fortunate. Okay, so thus one may, different one. Narayana and Sri Krishna are the same personality of Godhead, but although they are identical, their bodily features are different. Se Narayana Krishnara Swarupa Beda, Eka I Vigraha Kunti Akara Vibeda. That's the Bengali. Narayana Krishnara Swarupa, the original form, Abeda, not different, Kintu, but Akara Vibeda. The bodily features, Akara Vibeda, are different. So they're identical, but the features are different. So Rupa Goswami also lists this. I forget the numbers. Something like Krishna is 55, Balaram is 53, and then you go down the list and come to Narayan, maybe is 50 or 48. I forget, different qualities that are there in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansions. Okay. Next verse. Verse 29. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has two hands and holds a flute, whereas the other, Narayana, has 4 hands with conch, wheel, mace, and lotus. And Srila Prabhupada just clarifies that they are in fact the same person manifested differently, like a high court judge who is differently situated in his office and at his home. That's a beautiful example given by Srila Prabhupada. The high court judge sits in court and judges. That's one function, an important function, but his higher identity is when he's relating with his loved ones, his wife and his children and his relatives. He's playing in that way. So, what to speak of God. He has his function as the Lord, the magnificent, opulent Lord, Narayan. But, beyond that, he goes home to Goloka. Okay. The Bengali for that. In hoto dvi bhuja ting ho dhare chari hata. Im ho venu dhare ting ho chakradika sata. Chakra adika. Chakra adika, the wheel. This is the description of Narayan. Sat, with the flute, Venu, that's Krishna, Dhare, and the verse only says the wheel for Narayan, but in the translation we get his 4 items that he holds: the conch, the wheel, the mace, and the lotus. Okay, next is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 30. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. You are not therefore my father, are you not therefore my father, Narayana? Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara, Gabardakashai Vishnu, and that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya. So this verse in the Bhagavatam clearly differentiates the different forms of the Lord, the Vishnu Tattva forms, as not creations of Maya, whereas both the Brahmavadis and the Mayavadis say that everything who has a form is a creation of Maya. But here that's completely rejected. Okay, so the Sanskrit is Narayanas twang nihi sarva dehinam atmasyadik shakila loka sukshi Narayano ungam narabhu jalayanat tatschapi satyam na tavaiva maya. Okay. So, na tavaiva maya. So, na tava. So your satyam, your truth, is not at all maya. The truth of your appearance, the truth of your, let's see what it says about expansions. Atma dehinam. Angam, plenary portion. Angam means like limb. So it's with Krishna he's complete in himself, and he expands himself into other forms that are simultaneously part of him and not part of him. He remains transcendental in his whole being, but yet he's able to, like pulling off an arm. The arm's still there, but the other arm becomes Narayan. Something like that. Okay, this was spoken by Lord Brahma in his prayers to Lord Krishna after the Lord had defeated him by displaying his mystic powers. So Prabhupada goes on to describe the situation of Brahma stealing the cowherd boys and Krishna reproducing all the cowherd boys, Brahma becoming bewildered and finally surrendering to Krishna and offering, beautiful prayers. And this is in the 10th canto. Okay, so finally Srila Prabhupada says, that Lord Krishna is Narayan, the father of Brahma, because Lord Krishna's plenary expansion, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, after placing himself on the Garbha ocean, created Brahma from his own body. Mahavishnu in the causal ocean and Kshirodakashai Vishnu, the super soul in everyone's heart, are also transcendental expansions of the supreme truth. Okay, verse 31. The English first. After Brahma had offended Krishna by stealing his playmates and calves, he begged the Lord's pardon for his offensive act and prayed for the Lord's mercy. Though the original deity in the universe, Brahma, is praying to Krishna. Krishna is superior to Brahma. It's clearly, it's clearly there in the pastimes of Krishna with Brahma stealing the cows. So, Shishu Vastu Hari Brahma Kori Aparadha Kshamayate Magena Prasada. So, Kshamayate, he begs the Lord's pardon for his aparad, his offense. And we've all heard this in Bhaktivinoda Thakur songs, Magena. He's begging, he's pleading. Prasad, you give me your mercy, please. I'm such a fool. So, Shishu playmates, Vatsa, calves. Okay, next verse, 32. I took birth from the lotus that grew from your navel. Thus you are both my father and my mother, and I am your son. Tomara nabi padma hoite amara janmodhaya. Tumi pita mata ami tomara tonaya. Tonaya, son. Usually it's putra. So I'm your father, pita. I'm your mother, mata. And I took birth from your grace, janma udaya. From on the nabi padma, the lotus of the navel. Padma, lotus, nabi, navel. Okay. 33. Parents never take seriously the offenses of their children. I therefore beg your pardon and ask your benediction. So Brahma, even Brahma, who's the originator of the universe, and the position of Brahma is there in every universe, so there's millions of Brahmas, and there's a pastime where the Brahma of this universe is shocked to see that. There are Brahmas who are much bigger than him with many more heads and so many things like that. But our Brahma in this universe is saying, just the children are never punished or not punished very, heavily by their parents for doing something wrong. So similarly, you please be kind to me because I'm just your child. So this clearly indicates the position of the Supreme Lord in relation to even Brahma, the Lord of the universe. Okay. Pita mata balakera na loya aparada kshama mora karaha prasada. Again, please show your mercy to me. 34. Sri Krishna said, O Brahma, your father is Narayan. I am but a cowherd boy. How can you be my son? Krishna Kahena, Brahma Tomara Pita Narayana, Ami Gopa, Tumi Kaiche Amara Nandana. So, how Amara Nandana, how can you be my son? I'm just a cowherd boy. The Krishna is playing with him. Then Brahma replied, are you not Narayan? You are certainly Narayan. Please listen as I state the proofs. Brahma bolena, tumi ki na hao Narayana, tumi Narayana, shuna tahara karana. So, karana, the reasons, karana, the reasons. The reasons that you are Narayan, you are certainly Narayan. So please hear, shuna, hear. Next verse, 36. All the living beings within the material and spiritual worlds are ultimately born of you, for you are the supersoul of them all. This is Brahma speaking. Prabhupada gives some indication of the cosmological arrangement that Krishna makes through his expansions to bring about the material world. It's interesting, so I'll read it. Shankarshan is the original source of all living entities because they are all expansions of his marginal potency. So he doesn't say how Shankarshan is manifest. Shankarshan is the name of one of the 4 Chaturvyuhas that expand from Balaram and then manifest through Narayan. And then from Narayan comes another Shankarshan that brings about the creation of the Vishnus, who in turn bring about the beginning of the universe, and Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, the lotus upon which Lord Brahma is seated to begin to realize his purpose by doing tapa. He sits on the lotus, it's dark, he doesn't know who he is, where he is, what's going on, but he hears the word tapa, which means penance, do penance. So he begins his penance, and finally Krishna reveals to him. I can remember after I had a car accident in 1967, and I was unconscious afterwards. And I was in the hospital, I didn't know where I was. I was in a bed in the hospital, but I was conscious of my existence, but I didn't know exactly who I was or where I was. It was just blank. It was very, at first bewildering, and then a little scary, but I started to hear voices, and it still didn't come who I was or where I was. And finally, somehow or other, after, they say a couple days, I opened my eyes, and there I was back. So anyway, something like Brahma in the darkness, but not Brahma. There's a story of the 4 Kumaras who disobeyed Brahma. I forget the exact circumstances. But anyway, I was temple president in Chicago, and some of the brahmacharis were saying they were disobeying me because, the Kumaras disobeyed Brahma, so they can do that. So I wrote to Srila Prabhupada, and, that's what they're saying, Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada writes back, "You are Brahma?" And I'm like, I really didn't say I was Brahma. But that was basically his answer. And I think that applies differently to each situation. I'm thinking I've got some position, and they're thinking they've got the position of the Kumaras in relation to Brahma, but there's no question of being Brahma. It's completely different. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. So, okay. Shankarshan is the original source of all living entities because they are all expansions of his marginal potency. Some of them are conditioned by material nature, whereas others are under the protection of the spiritual nature. The material nature is a conditional manifestation of the spiritual nature, just as smoke is a conditional stage of fire. Smoke is dependent on fire, but in a blazing fire, there is no place for smoke. Smoke disturbs, but fire serves. The serving spirit of the residents of the transcendental world is displayed in the 5 varieties of relationships with the Supreme Lord, who is the central enjoyer. In the material world, everyone is a self-centered enjoyer of mundane happiness and distress. One considers himself to be the Lord of everything and tries to enjoy the illusory energy, but he is not successful because he is not independent. He is a minute particle of the energy of Lord Shankarshan. All living entities exist under the control of the Supreme Lord, who is therefore called Narayan. Okay, the Bengali. Prakrita srishtye yata jiva rupa. Tahara ye atma tumi mula swarupa. Mula swarup, the original source, the mula, the root. Okay. Prakrita, the material, and aprakrita, prakrita and aprakrita, the spiritual, aprakrita, the spiritual. Srishtye, in the creations, there are the jiva rupas, and the atma, the super soul, and the mula swarup, the ultimate source. So Kaviraj Goswami is indicating the cosmological arrangement of the universe, which ultimately places Shankarshan, who is a manifestation of Narayan, in the highest position, manifesting the jiva conditioned souls and the liberated souls, not only liberated souls, but also the Vishnu Tattva expansions that develop the universe and oversee the Sattva Guna, the Vishnus that oversee the mode of goodness. Okay. 37. As the earth is the original cause and shelter of all pots made of earth, so you are the ultimate cause and shelter of all living beings. That's pretty clear. Srila Prabhupada says, this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, where the Lord says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. I am the seed, mam, me, it's me, who is the bijam of sarva bhutanam, who's the seed of all living entities. Can't get much clearer. He doesn't, indicate that there's anything beyond mam. That's, so clear in Bhagavad Gita. Then he cites a verse from the Katha Upanishad, which says, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. The Lord is the supreme leader among all eternal living beings. So the ultimate cause and shelter of all living beings, what to speak of the source of the material world. So Srila Prabhupada explains one of the interpretations of Vedanta, which is the Ramanujacharya interpretation. He says, the advocates of Vishishtadvaita Vada philosophy explain the Vedanta Sutra by saying that although the living entity has 2 kinds of bodies, subtle, consisting of mind, intelligence, and false ego, and gross, consisting of the 5 basic elements, and although he thus lives in 3 bodily dimensions, gross, subtle, and spiritual, he is nevertheless a spiritual soul. So just like Srila Sridhar Maharaj's quotes from Ramanuja's guru, Jamunacharya, and also sometimes, I think from a disciple of Ramanujacharya, I think he was a direct disciple, Vedanta Deshika. Do you know Didi? Vedanta Deshika, yeah. Srila Sridhar sometimes quotes from him also. So the connection, surprisingly enough, our connection with the Madhva Sampradaya's interpretation of Vedanta is like farther away from our connection with the Ramanuja Sampradaya's interpretation of Vedanta Sutra. Even though Madhva worships Krishna, but he worships Krishna without Radha. And in the Sri Sampradaya, the Ramanuja Sampradaya, it's called Sri Sampradaya because they worship Sri and also Bhu, who's the deity of the earth, I think, right? Yeah. So Sri is the spiritual consort and Bhu is the deity who oversees the earth. And there's very beautiful, poems about loving surrender to the Lord that are very, similar to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's poems. And so oftentimes the doctrine of that sampradaya is quoted. So Prabhupada ends it by saying, the Vaishnavas following Lord Chaitanya stress the doctrine of Achintya Beda Beda Tattva, which states that the Supreme Lord, being the cause of an effect of everything, is inconceivably, simultaneously, one with his manifestation of energy and different from them. So it's very similar that the understanding of the self as being connected ultimately with the Supreme beyond the gross and subtle bodies of the material world, in reality the real spiritual being, who is connected with the Lord in a beda, one but different, beda abeda, one but different from the Lord. And is that right? Beda means? Difference, and abeda means no difference. Okay, so it's different order. Okay. Okay, so 38. The word Nara refers to the aggregate of all living beings, and the word Ayana refers to the refuge of them all. So the Bengali, Nara Shabde Kahi Sarva Jivera Nichaya, Ayana Sabdete Kahe Tahara Ashraya. Ashraya, the refuge. Okay. Sarva Jivera Nichaya, the assemblage of all the living entities. So he is the refuge of the aggregate whole of all the living entities in the universe. So it's like the mood of service and surrender to Lord Narayan is in line with our mood of service and surrender to Lord Krishna. And the only distinction is the distinction of Vaikuntha and Goloka. Okay, 38. You are therefore the original Narayan. And this is one reason. Please listen as I state the second. Okay, he's talking about Krishna. Atayeva tumi hao mula Narayana. Mula Narayana, the original, the root of Narayan. Eka hetu shuna dvitiya karana. And now he's going to say the dvitiya karana, the second reason. Okay, verse 40. Jivera Ishvara Purushadi Avatara Taha Sabha hoite tomara aisvarya apara. Oh, I should have read the English first, sorry. The direct lords of all living beings are the Purusha incarnations, but your opulence and power are more exalted than theirs. The Purusha avatar, which means the three Vishnus? I think so. Okay. The direct Lord of the living beings. Okay, and then they're the lords of the living beings, but Tomara Sabha Hoite, your Aishvarya Apara, your opulence are boundless. So your opulence are beyond those of the Purusha avatars. So 41. Therefore, you are the primeval Lord, the original father of everyone. They, the Purushas, are the protectors of the universe by your power. Atayeva adhishvara tumi sarva pita tomara shaktite tara jagat rakshita. Rakshita, we all know that, protector of the Jagat, the universe. So, and he is Sarva Pita, the father of all, the primeval Lord, Adishvara. Okay, 42. Since you protect those who are the shelters of all living beings, you are the original Narayan.
So this is still Brahma talking to...
Yes. Talking to Krishna. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Purusha avatars are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. I think that's probably correct, because that's what it probably says. He doesn't say directly in the purports, but it seems to indicate that. So Krishna protects all creatures through his various plenary portions. That's again the angsas. Okay, the Bengali is Narera Ayana Yate Karaha Palana Atayeva How Tumi Mula Narayana. You are the Mula Narayan. Again, that word Mula, the root, the original. I think literally Mula is root, right, Didi? I think so. Mula, root.
Mula is original.
Well, also Adi-lila, yeah.
Maybe root also probably.
I think I've seen that, yeah. Tritiya, English first. Oh my Lord, 43. Oh my Lord, oh Supreme Personality of Godhead, kindly hear my third reason. There are countless universes and fathomless transcendental Vaikunthas. Tritiya Karana Shuna Sri Bhagavan Ananta Brahmanda Bahu Vaikunthadi Dhamma. So the Tritiya Karana reason, the third reason, Shuna, you please hear. O Personality of Godhead, Sri Bhagavan. Brahmanda, the universes, Ananta Brahmanda, the unlimited universes. Unlimited universes, and Bahu, Vaikuntha Adi, the Vaikuntha planets. Dhamma, the Vaikuntha Dhamma. That abode is translated here as planets, but really it's more like that abode of Narayan, which is many, many unlimited Vaikuntha planets. And in the Vaikuntha planets, each Narayan has a particular name. And I remember I was trying to understand what my name Sri Govinda meant, because Prabhupada gave me that name, and I found there's a Narayan deity named Sri Govinda. And there's Sri Govinda, who's the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Govinda, who's the deity of Rupa Goswami. And I just, finally I realized Sri Govinda is Govinda Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada knew that, I think. Sri Govinda Das. Okay. 44. Both in this material world and in the transcendental world, you see all the deeds of the living beings in the past, present, and future. Since you are the witness of all such deeds, you know the essence of everything. Marma, essence. Is that also Sanskrit? Do you know? Marma?
I'm not sure. I have a word in Marma. It's like mystery. Yeah. In Tamil, actually.
It's also Tamil, okay. Sometimes Sanskrit permeates into Tamil also, huh?
Yeah, a lot of words.
Yeah. Marma. So Prabhupada calls it essence in this case. So it would also, it's you know the essence of everything, or you know the mystery of everything, right? So it fits. So, ite yata jiva tara tri kalika karma. Kalika karma. The three kalika times. Karma, the actions. Taha deka shakshi tumi jana sabha marma. Jana, you know. Sabha, everything. Marma, the essence or the mystery. You know about everything. And try kalika, the past, present, and future. Kala, time of the jivas. So you know all the karma of the jivas from past, present, and future. You are the sakshi, the witness, sakshi tumi. You are the witness of everything, or all mysteries. So, okay, 45. All the worlds exist because you oversee them. None can live, move, or have their being without your supervision. Tomara darshane sarva jagatera stiti. Tumi na dekila karo nahi stiti goti. Okay, so darshane, by your viewing them, by your overseeing them, the jagatera, they're maintained, stiti. Tumina dekila karo nahi stiti goti. Okay, none can live or move or exist without you, without your stiti, your supervision, stiti. I'll do one more. English. You oversee the wanderings of all living beings. For this reason, also, you are the primeval Lord Narayana. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the entire cosmic situation is created as soon as he glances over the material nature. Krishna says that in Gita, I don't know the verse. Nothing can exist without his superintendence. Since he is the abode where the collective living beings rest, he is the original Narayana. Again, we'll see, Mula Narayana. Okay, so the Bengali is Narara Ayana Yati Kora Darshana. Taha Teo How Tumi Mula Narayana. Tumi, you are the Mula Narayana. You're the original Narayan. Narara Ayana. You oversee the motion, the activities of all the living beings. Yes.
Is it somehow related that Vishnu, he puts his glance to the material world, and his glance is Shambhu, and then all this jivas manifest and
yeah, I mean, Krishna says in Gita that it's him, but yet we hear from the cosmological explanation that it works like that. So, you know, it's logical that it would be that way, but it's also possible that it's both somehow. You know, it's just one of these things that where when you try to understand it, your mind explodes, and that's the time when we realize that we have to have a guru to show us those things that, you know, we just can't reach with our mind or intelligence. So, you know, Krishna's glancing, he says it himself, it's me. But then, you know, we understand from the Bhagavatam also that, from the Bhagavatam, that the manifestation comes about through Vishnu's glance, and the personification of Shiva as Shambhu, impregnating the material energy. So, you know, who knows? Seems like it's correct. But
and Vishnu and Narayan is just like different aspects of.
They're angsas, yeah. Prabhupada calls plenary portions. And angsa literally is limb. You know, and he told us that Krishna's nature is that, it also says in Bhagavad Gita, I am in every living entity, but they are not in me. So like sometimes people say, the composite whole, that's God. All of us together is God. But Krishna says, I am in everything, I'm part of all that altogether, but yet I'm beyond it. I'm more than that. So he gives clear differentiation in the Gita, even though, you know, beyond the speculation of people who, you know, think that they can understand the nature of God through their intellectual capacity. And so they come to so many conclusions based on intellect, all the way up to, I am spirit, I am Brahman, therefore I'm God. Because in that last statement, they haven't, Srila Prabhupada calls it the last snare of nescience. They're trapped by their own individual motivation. At the highest point, after leaving behind material motivation, they come to the point of directly, and it's made very clear by all of our gurus, that they're challenging the position of the Supreme Lord by saying that, you know, the ultimate is this Brahman and I am Brahman, as opposed to I am a servant. There's no, you know, they think bhakti is something preliminary to becoming a, you know, merged and becoming God. But, you know, actually we understand clearly from Gita that bhakti is the nature of the living entity, and it's perfectly manifested in Krishna's abode in relation with Krishna. And, you know, beyond the shining effulgence of Krishna's rays, that's, you know, yeah, that's the position of those who ultimately challenge Krishna by coming with a philosophy of You know, ultimately I'm Narayan. I remember there was this one guy I was preaching to, and he said, "I'm God." I said, "Okay, show me your Visvarupa, your universal form." And he said, "Can you see it?" I said, "No, I'm your devotee, show it to me." And he said, "You're not advanced enough." I just said, "Oh boy, you're really gone." Okay. Jai Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswara Mat Acharya Brinda ki jai.